Hello and welcome to Super Great Kids Stories, wise tales from storytellers around the world, which will make you laugh and sometimes cry. Recommended for ages 5 to 105. I'm Kim and I love stories. Hello Super Great Kids, and how are you? I'm pretty happy because it's our birthday this week. Yes, we are officially 4 years old. Yippee! I wonder how many of you have been listening since 2020. And to celebrate our birthday, we're giving you a present. Can you guess what kind of present we're going to give you? Yes, that's right. We're giving you not one, but 2 stories. So this is the first of 2, and our first story is from a new storyteller. Her name is Despina Ariou, and she lives on a Greek island. Lucky Despina. Greece is where the first Olympic Games took place more than 2,500 years ago. And it's the country which gave us fables like The Hare and the Tortoise and The Fox and the Crow. Greece is in southeastern Europe and it's bordered by 3 seas: the Ionian, the Mediterranean and the Aegean, and it has thousands of islands sprinkled around its coastline. Just imagine what it must be like to live surrounded by sparkling blue water with lots of beaches. Lucky Despina. More fun facts about Greece in our Owlet's letter this week. The story Despina is going to tell is a quest story about some animals who lose their voices and set off on a quest to see if they can get them back. Since we're telling animal stories right now, just before we hear from Despina, here's a riddle for you. I want you to guess which animal this is. They make a lot of fuss and they hobble around. They dig in the dirt and pull worms out the ground. They spend hours sitting in a little hut. They scratch and flutter and quite often strut. They're sometimes brown or grey or white, and they do not like foxes, especially at night. Have a think about which animal that is. And if you've already guessed, maybe you could make up your own riddle about another animal while we have a quick word with the grown-ups. Ready? Off you go.
Hello, Super Great Kim.
Hello, Super Great David.
Kim, I have a question.
I love questions. Fire away.
What is the best kind of story?
Well, I think the best kind of story is an old story which has been told for many years and passed on from person to person.
Ooh, that's a good answer. I thought you were going to say something specific like only Baba Yaga stories or Nancy stories or stories that have to have 2-headed giants in them.
No, just a story which has been loved and passed along and told by lots of people.
Right, okay. So if we really want more people to hear stories, seems like we're going to need help from our lovely listeners.
Yes, we know these stories because people have been sharing them with each other for donkey's years. I tell you, you tell someone else, they tell someone else, and soon everyone knows the story.
You know what, Kim? I think maybe it's such a good idea that we could possibly put it into song. If you tell a friend and I tell a friend, we'll all have a super great time. And if they share one and they pass that along, a whole lot of us, a whole lot of us, a whole lot of us will have a super great time.
Hello, Super Great Kids, I'm back. Did you guess which animal I was talking about? Yes. I was talking about chickens, which actually is one of the animals in this week's story. I wonder if you managed to make up a riddle. You could try it out on your family. But now, it's time for this week's story. So let's give a warm welcome to Despina.
Hello, super great kids. This is Despina Ariou from Greece. I come from a little island in the middle of the Aegean Sea that's called Syros. And living on an island is a good thing because it is a small place, but it's got very beautiful scenery. Anywhere you walk around it, you can look at the sea and you can look at different islands very close to you. But you have to take a boat to go see the other islands, and you have to take a boat if you want to go to the capital of Greece, which is Athens. So many people on my island live from the sea. They have fishing boats, and they go fishing with nets, and we love eating fish on Syros. And I am surrounded by myth and legend. I have heard that not many of you have ever heard of any Greek folktale before, which is a crime. Really, we need to fix that. So, for today, I have a fairy tale in mind for you that's called The Magical Sneeze. First time I heard The Magical Sneeze, it was by Yorgos Evgenikos, who is another Greek storyteller. So, Yorgos' version is what I'm going to share with you today. Once there was a pedlar. Now, if there are any kids who don't know what a pedlar is a job from the past. It used to be a person who would have a sack on his back full of different things that anyone could need, and they would go around from village to village and sell their stuff, because back then we did not have supermarkets. There were no big stores, and people who wanted to find things had to travel from the village all the way to the big cities to get them. So a peddler came in very handy for those people. But it was winter time, and it was cold, and it was snowing, and the peddler, as he was making his way towards the village, could hear the sound of his feet crunching in the snow. He felt cold, but he had to do his job. So he approached the first houses, and before the peddler had a chance to start calling out his goods so that the people would come and buy them, he felt his nose getting redder and redder by the minute. And he felt this huge sneezing coming up, and he did not get a chance to put his hand in front of his mouth or nose, and he just let go of a huge and next to the peddler, on the house's fence, there was a cockerel watching, and beside him, his favorite hen. Next to the hen was a little dog and a kitten. And next to the kitten was the stable where the horse and the pig were housed. When the peddler let go of that huge sneeze, it seemed like the earth was shaking, and the fence went back and forth, and the animals flopped around in terror, because it had been a huge sneeze. The peddler, he just wiped his nose on his sleeve and made his way towards the village. And the animals were terrified. "Cluck, cluck, 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 cluck. What was that?" said the cockerel. "Kikerikoo! I have no idea," said the hen. "Woof, woof, woof. What happened?" said the kitten. "Meow. Why are you talking like that?" said the dog. "Oink, oink," said the horse. "It seems like I do not have my voice." "Nay, nay," called the pig. "I think our voices have been reversed." All the animals were in panic. "Oh no, what do we do now?" "Cluck, cluck, 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 cluck," said the cockerel. "I think this thing happened when the pedlar was passing through our village. Kikerikoo! You're right, my dear, said the hen. I think it was when he let go of that huge sneeze. Meow, said the dog. What do we do now? Woof, 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 said the kitten. I think we'd best go find him. Oink, oink, said the horse. I want my voice back. Open the door and let me out. We must go find that pedlar and make him restore our voices. Nay, nay, said the pig. We must definitely find him. I need my beautiful voice back. And so it was that the delegation of all 6 animals left their farm and their garden and made their way towards the forest where the footsteps of that pedlar were taking them. So they made their way through the forest, and there, in the deepest part of the forest, they saw that there was the pedlar's hut. So they went close, and they had a look up above from the fence towards his house, and indeed they could see that out there on the garden, in front of the house, the sack of goods was left, and apparently the pedlar had entered his house again. All of them, all 6 of them, made it to the door, and somehow knocked on the door, and the pedlar came out. "What can I do for you?" he said. "Clap, clap, 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 clap. Look at what you did with my beautiful voice," said the cockerel. "Oh, you have destroyed our voices," said the hen. "What you've done to my husband and I is incredible." "Woof, woof, woof," said the kitten. "I want my voice back." "Meow. I couldn't agree more," said the little dog. "Oink, oink," said the horse. "It's incredible that a horse should talk in a voice like that." "Nay, nay, all my comrades are right. It was your sneezing that did it. You must restore our voices," said the pig. The pedlar, trying to restrain a giggle, said, I am awfully sorry. You're very correct. You see, apart from being a pedlar, I am kind of, sort of, also a magician. And you see, when I sneezed out loud, I think that a few magical words might have escaped my mouth without me wanting it. I'm terribly sorry. I did not mean to. I will try to make it better. So he let the animals get in, and they all sat around the table, and, well, they sounded funny. The pedlar tried not to laugh, but the animals could see he was having fun, and they got angry. "Come on now, woof, woof," said the kitten. "You should sneeze. Sneeze again so we get our voices back, woof." "Meow, meow." "The kitten is right," said the dog. "I want my voice back. I cannot meet other dogs and sound like our enemy. Meow." And all the animals complained, so the pedlar did try. He squeezed his nose and he tried, but as you probably know already, super great kids, hard as you might try, you cannot make yourself sneeze on purpose. It's impossible. "Oink, oink," said the horse. "I've got an idea. Why don't we use some pepper?" "Nay, nay, an awesome idea," said the pig. "Give us your pepper now. This is the way to go about it," said the hen. And so the pedlar took out his box of pepper, and the kitten, woof, just grabbed it and threw some inside the nostrils of the poor pedlar, and he started to let go of a huge sneeze, and all the house shook, and all the animals shook, and then they tried, but now, "Oink, oink," said the kitten. "This is not my voice." "Nay, nay," said the dog. "No, you're absolutely right. This is not my voice either." "Meow, meow," said the pig. "Oh no, what happened to my voice now?" said the horse. "I can't believe it. This is even worse than before." "Nay, nay, what do you mean?" said the cockerel. And all of them, one by one, had a new set of vocal cords, it seemed, because they sounded really, really weird and not how they were supposed to. I am terribly sorry," said the pedlar. "I did try, you know." "Ah, that's incredible. Oink, oink, give me that." And the animal threw the pepper inside the pedlar's nose with all his might, and then the pedlar started to and laid a huge and enormous sneezing that made everything shake and rumble around them. And when it was done, "Nay, oh, nay, I can't believe it. I found my voice, my beautiful voice," said the horse. "Oink, oink, 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 you're right. I got my voice back." "Cluck, cluck, cluck." "Oh, I can't believe it," said the hen. "Finally, now I can lay my eggs in peace." "And I," said the cockerel, "can do my job again. I can wake people up in the morning." "Meow, meow. Oh, yes, you're absolutely right. We all have our voices back. Dog, you try. Woof, woof, woof." I'm so happy. He started wagging his tail all around the house and jumping on the furniture and the other animals. They were so happy. And they all ran to the pedlar and they started hugging him and kissing him and thanking him. And as the pedlar opened up the door for the animals to return home, a sudden breeze came in through the door and entered the pedlar's nose. And the pedlar started to... The animals looked at him in terror. The animals ran and hid behind the fence. "Upsha!" he said, and when the animals were brave enough to step above the fence and have a look, they could see that the pedlar's house and the pedlar's sack and the pedlar himself had disappeared into the snow. They quickly made their way back to their farm and their house and their garden. They did not see that pedlar again, but every time they heard somebody sneeze, just to be on the safe side, they kept a good distance. You never know. And that was the end of the magical sneeze. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do sneeze in winter time, please remember, we put our hands in front of our mouth and we try not to sneeze on other people. It's very kind.
Thank you so much, Despina, for sharing that story. So here's my question. How would you feel if you lost your voice? I wonder if you like your voice. Is it low, or is it high or soft or squeaky or musical sounding? And what can you do with your voice? Are you good at making sound effects or singing? Imagine if you woke up one day and all you could do was oink like a pig. Slightly embarrassing. Imagine the teacher taking register, calling out your name, and all you can go is... Anyway, I'm very pleased that all the animals in the story got their voices back. And now it's time to flip-flap-fly with Story Owl around the world and say hello to some new owlets who've hopped into our nest and joined our club. We begin this week in Adelaide, in South Australia, to welcome superfans Florin, who is 4, Edith, who is 3, and baby sister Martine, who is just 3 months. They listen every day and say they've even stopped watching TV because the stories are much more interesting. Ha! Hurrah! Their favourite storytellers are Toop and Jason Buck. You'll enjoy our birthday bonus story then. Oh, and they're enjoying learning Japanese words from Masako Carey. Do you remember Once Upon a Time? Mukashi, mukashi. Very good. Let's fly a very long way north now to Homer in Alaska to greet owlets Keshe, who is 7, and Fillmore, who recently turned 6. It was Fillmore's 6th birthday wish for him and Keshe to become owlets. They particularly enjoy the hairy toe and eggshell soup and all the Anansi stories. And we're going to fly all the way across North America to upstate New York next to meet Owlet Mael, who's been listening for quite a while. He just turned 7, and becoming an owlet is a gift from his grandmother and grandfather. Mael lives in a bilingual French-English family. Lucky you. He enjoys stories like The Ghost of the Bloody Finger. And he finds it much easier to have his hair cut, and so do his family, if he's listening to Super Great Kids stories. Now, there's a win-win situation. Welcome to the club, Mael. Bienvenue. And let's fly west next to Madison in Wisconsin in the US to give a hoot out to Ronabit, who is 12. Ronabit first started listening to Super Great Kids stories on a long road trip a few years ago and has been a huge fan ever since. That's great to hear. Welcome to the club. Ooh, 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 ooh. A big hoot out next to Owlet Joseph, who is 6, and to his little sister Louisa, who is 3. They've been listening to the stories every night at bedtime for the past 2 years. Ooh, that makes you super fans. Joseph's favourite stories are Little Half Chick and Spooky Dances the Kokioko. And Louisa loves the stories about Baba Yaga, the witch. Let's head down to Huntsville in Alabama in the US next to welcome 4-year-old Samson to the Owlet Club. Samson's favourite story is The Magic Orange Tree. Glad you're enjoying the stories, Samson. That is a good one. Listening to these tales will help you to tell your own stories too. And let's flip-flap fly northwest next towards Calgary in Canada to greet twin owlets Coast and Summit, who are 6. They enjoy listening to the stories in the car. Coast loves How the Tadpoles Lost Their Tails, and Summit loves The Hairy Toe. 2 cracking stories. And let's glide down to Texas next to greet owlets Grace, who is 10, and Carlos, who is 8. Grace loves Baba Yaga the Witch stories, and Carlos loves the Native American story, Why the Corn Doll Has No Face. And across the Atlantic to London in the UK next to say ooh, 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 to new owlet Violet, who was 6 this month. It was her birthday on her first day back at school. Nice to see your school friends again on your birthday, I imagine. Violet loves spooky stories, anything told by Toop, and a white bear for the king, which makes her laugh out loud. She's excited to be moving soon to a new home in Colorado in the US. Maybe you'll meet some more owlets there, Violet. She's particularly pleased to be an owlet because she wants to listen to the super great scary stories. Hope you're enjoying them, Violet. Have a happy move when it comes. That's it for Owlet Hellos this week. More next week. And thanks very much to all of you owlets who continue to support our podcast. If you'd like to join us on Patreon or on Apple Podcasts, we'll say hello to you on the show. You can hear our stories advert-free, and you'll get access to our Super Great Kids Stories Express with short introductions, no adverts, purely story. Great for listening to stories back to back. And you'll have access to over 40 Owlet bonus stories like this one, and at least 25 super great scary stories. And thanks to all of you who've sent pictures into our Facebook picture gallery this week. Our Pick of the Week picture goes to Anaya, who is 8 and lives in Hong Kong, who's drawn a detailed picture of the characters in the story The Secret of the Ring, told by Daniel Morden. I love Jack's hat made out of leaves and the way his pet frog is jumping. Just lovely. Thanks very much, Anaya. If you'd like to see that picture or any of the other super great pictures sent in recently by some very talented listeners, then go to facebook.com/supergreatkidsstories. And if you follow us on Instagram, we now have a new account just for your artwork. You can find us at supergreatkids_art. Do take a look at our new picture gallery. That's it for today. Remember, there's an extra story this week, Troll Ale, told by Jason Buck. Our birthday present to you. Do have a listen, it's very funny. And if you'd like to join us for our online show with me and Jason Buck on November the 16th, 1 ticket works for the whole family. The details are on our website under News on supergreatkidsstories.com. I hope you have a happy week. Keep telling your stories and singing your songs. This podcast was produced at Wardour Studios in fabulous Fitzrovia in London.